It's two o'clock, so maybe we can get started. I
Gretchen.
want to quickly
Hi.
mention something that's coming up, and it's history. It's not necessarily genealogy, but it does relate to my genealogy. So
That's good.
I'll mention it to everybody. Let me quickly show you. On every year twice a year, we do a history book discussion with John
Oh.
Harris.
Mm.
And this fall, it's going to be American Lion about Andrew Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really interesting book. It's much more exciting than you might think, because there was a lot of scandal going on and craziness. So I'd highly recommend it. I've started it and I really like it. But the fun news for me is that the second vice president, Van Buren, is from Kinderhook, New York, where a whole bunch of my New York relatives were.
Ah.
Oh,
And so they probably knew him
Yes,
Oh,
they
yeah.
probably did.
because it's a small area. So I really enjoy reading it because it brings it to life. And he was there and our relatives were there in that time period, the late 20s and 1830s. And then I'm also reading a book about the Alamo that is the Mexican-American War. And
Yep.
the whole thing is sort of this time and a little later. So it's really fun, but I'd highly recommend the Andrew Jackson book. It did win the Pulitzer Prize and it's very gripping for a history book. So I wanted to quickly mention that. Then do we want to hear what everyone's been up to before we get onto the big topic of the day?
can I ask a
Anyone?
question
Sure.
first? How did your session go at the ADRC?
Actually, the place was really quiet and I only had 4 people, so it was not much, but the building itself was almost empty, which surprised me. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I guess it's not attracting too many people. I heard that the granary program had about 20. Did you go to that one,
No,
Tom? Or?
not lately. Is that, did they have another one?
Yeah,
Just
she,
lately?
my brain is blanking out. They did a program on the granary and the history that they're researching and what they're doing. And they had about 20 people come. And by the way, that group it's Beth Renstrom, who's the one who's in charge of it. And they're going to be doing an oral history at the Threshery this year, trying to gather stories about farming in Door County, which
Oh,
should be kind of interesting.
That's the 20th to the 22nd, I think, of
Coming
August.
up, yeah. I don't have the dates, but it is coming up about then. So
That's
that should
correct.
be interesting. Yeah. Has
Hey,
anyone
Dave.
been to the Threshery?
No,
Yes,
Not lately, not lately.
Not for many years.
Yeah. I've
Hey,
only
Tom.
been there a couple times.
You said the ADRC was pretty poor turnout.
Yeah, just 4 people, but
My
the
wife was
building
there
was
today. She
empty.
said- My wife was there today for a class she goes to, and she said it was fairly busy there.
Yeah.
And by the way, Tom, I am going to do the Apple class again,
oh, yeah, good,
starting in September, the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of the month.
okay.
I think
First and third, okay.
the timing makes a difference.
Yeah.
I think everyone comes at lunch because they had a whole lot of, they were getting a whole lot of lunches ready to go.
Depends on what the lunch is for the day.
Oh, does it? So I was there pretty early and before all of the people came, but that's all right.
Okay.
I was
Okay,
able to help
got
a
it.
few people.
So,
Does anyone want to mention what you've been working on?
I'll mention something. I just got in the mail another book on explore my Swedish heritage.
Uh-huh.
This one was actually written in Swedish and translated by Kathy Mead, who is a Swedish, there's a Swedish database called Archive Digital that is fabulous. They went and rephotographed all of the Swedish church records. And it's a subscription basis, so you subscribe to it. But the records are so much better than they were with the previous one, which had been, photographed years and years ago. And that's the one that Ancestry has. Those are the images that Ancestry has. But they're hard to read, and Ancestry has not enhanced them very much. Although they will connect you with some of them. But
okay.
One thing I just discovered or found out or was reminded about is there's a new database out called the Population of Sweden. And it goes, if your ancestor lived between after 1820 and the end of the century, they're going to be in this database. And what it's really good for is if you can follow your ancestor in the Swedish records pretty easily, but then you lose them because they move to a different parish, and some parishes aren't very good at keeping a track. And so you don't know how to find them within 300 or 400 pages. This index is indexing that person throughout his life in those records. So you can actually follow, them all along, and including the gaps that you found yourself, because the records didn't lead you there. But they've done a magnificent job, and I already went looking for my great grandparents who met somewhere in Sweden. And the story did not come down as to where they met and so forth. Well, I've narrowed it down now to a certain parish. They were both living in this particular parish at the same time. So that must be where they met.
Highly likely.
Highly likely.
Yep.
So I think it's useful for lots of purposes. And sometimes you just you have trouble finding them because the naming customs in Sweden, you have, everybody is named John Johnson or Anders Johnson
bet.
or Carl Johnson, or, and this helps you locate that person if you know anything about them, like their birth date. Birth date's real key if you have a birth date. But anyway, for anybody doing Swedish research, I would think this would be the absolute first step. To find them in Sweden.
And that's the database called Population of Sweden?
It's in Archive Digital, so that's available there, but it's called the Population of Sweden. I have to look it up precisely, but something like that. Population Index of Sweden, something like that.
Okay,
I'll get it precisely. Let me see if I have it here. Just a minute.
okay.
Okay.
Anyone else want to mention something?
Yeah, I got,
Or I was conversing online with that, or via email with that lady that was looking for the Diamond family in
Yes,
Sister Bay way back when. She found my email address, and I was kind of excited because her husband was related to John Eliason.
Mhm.
Well, up here, John Eliason is the guy that started Ellison Bay,
Yep.
and I'm involved in the Liberty Grove Historical Society. The ancestor that owned that property bought it from John Eliason. So I got her all kinds of stuff, and the
Yeah, she
problem
mentioned
was
how
her
helpful
husband
you
is
was.
related to a different John Eliason.
Oh,
So,
oh
well.
dear. Well, there you go with those names.
yeah.
I listened to if you have German research, I've listened to a family search webinar on Tuesday, I guess it was. And I'm not going to try to pronounce these two German words, but anyway, they are, the lady was talking about town family books and town lineage books. And apparently, if you're lucky, there are many books over, that have been made where they actually, I guess. Okay,
There you
somebody
go.
came in. Okay, I lost Laura. You still there, Laura?
I'm here.
Okay, there, okay. Anyway, and apparently it will include individuals in a specific town or area, no matter what the religion is. And so these books are available on different sites, both in fact, some are available in Ancestry, some are available in Family Search. If you go to the wiki on Family Search, they'll give you a hand on it. But also, if you're interested, I think probably for the next few days anyway, they will have Family History Library tapes these sessions and they keep them on their Facebook page for for about a week or so. And the name of this one was called Jumpstart Your German Research with Oates Familia Bucher or Scipion Bucher. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it. I'm positive it's not. I don't know if you can see that. Can I show that to where you can see it or not? Probably not. Doesn't look like
No.
it. No. Okay. But anyway, if you go to the family or to the history library, they'll have that on there. And you can look at, if you have German, because the lady went through the presentation and she had examples of how you use it and how you can find towns and you can do it by towns or family names and so on. So if you have German research to do, it sounds like it's a good thing. I haven't had a chance to really search it out for my family yet, but I'm going to give it a try.
Okay, I quickly Googled that, and here I put in family search webinars and it pulled up this,
Right.
the wiki, and then on the wiki, you can
Yeah,
see
that-
the class and you can see it's there, the
Yeah,
third one
it's like
down.
Jumpstart Your German Research.
And
And
that's the spelling.
yeah. Hey, I'm open to anybody who wants to try to pronounce that. I'm not proud. So anyway,
Anyone
and
else?
and the other
Yeah.
thing I was doing
Oh,
was,
okay.
one other thing I've been working on is, I think I mentioned before, I was doing my wife's mother's side of the family. She comes down an Adams line, and there were many Adams, well, several Adams families that came over in the middle 1600s. One, of course, was the line with the presidents. She doesn't come down from that line. She comes down from a different one. But what I found out was that if I was able to narrow down the village where in New England where they were, and they were first in a Massachusetts village, and then they moved to a New Hampshire village. Okay, and both of those villages back about, I'm going to say 1920 or so, two different people wrote very extensive books, about the history of the people in those towns. And so I was able to find quite a bit of information on her family from that. One thing I have a question for you all. How do you mention, say, like Massachusetts before it was in the United States? Do you
Oh,
call it, I've seen it called British America, Massachusetts, British America, sovereign state of Massachusetts, and then just Massachusetts. And I just wonder, does anybody know if there's a specific way
Well-
that you reference that?
Well, I've seen colonial America
Okay. I guess
being
I've seen
used.
that too, yeah.
Yeah,
British or colonial America. I guess that
Right.
would work.
Everything I pulled up usually just gives me the state. 'Cause I
Yeah,
have stuff back from the late 1500s,
yeah,
1600s.
yeah.
It just says
Yeah, that's what I had
Massachusetts.
too, so.
And then I
Anyway,
might write something down in the notes that this, based on Massachusetts Bay Colony records or something like that. If I
yeah,
find it.
yeah.
I just
So,
leave it as if that's the way it comes in, I just leave it.
sounds good.
I'm too lazy.
oh dear.
Oh dear.
Somehow, how do I get back in? It says Zoom phone I went to look up something and now I say post attendee Zoom. How do I get back in?
Well, we
You're
see
in.
you. If
You're
you look
there.
at your taskbar, maybe you can see where it
Yeah.
is.
Is it on the taskbar Zoom?
Yeah, oh, there. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Now your name shows.
Yeah, I just want to look up because in Roots Magic, it says put British America, like Massachusetts Bay
Oh.
Colony, British America.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's how, so every time you do it, that's the way it should be
Ah,
listed.
good to know. All right. So that's all I have.
Anyone else? And
I'm
then I'll,
not doing much of anything right now.
well,
So much other stuff.
I'll quickly
Genealogy.
mention something that I just popped into the Door County News the other day. And again, I'll share my screen. Does anyone know about Door County Today? They're connected with that those mailers, the Pulse and some of those little mailers that come out. Let me show you what, here we go. All this technology, right?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Okay, this is Door County Today.
Oh,
And over here, you see this picture which says Gibraltar Historical Association.
Uh-huh.
Guess who that young lady is staring at the camera? That's my grandmother.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
Wow,
That was funny.
great.
My sister gave these pictures to them. So these young ladies were all traipsing around Door County. They came up from Green Bay. So I thought that was fun.
Is that a website or a newsletter or what?
They put out that Go Door County brochure, the little one.
Yeah.
And I think they're the Pulse, and they do a whole bunch of different things. And I thought there was a magazine, but I may be wrong. But if you type in Door County Today, you'll see
Okay.
their website. So, and if you look at the Facebook page for Gibraltar Historical Society, they have a couple more, they posted a couple of more pictures of these girls would come up on, a bunch of girls would come up on the steamers, I guess, from Green Bay. And they would stay at the Thorpe Hotel because we have pictures that say Thorpe Hotel.
Wow, that's great.
So,
Oh, fun.
yeah, it was fun to just see her pop up like that. So that's all I have to say. Should we get on to the big subject of the day?
Yep.
What is the big
Ancestry.
subject? I've lost track.
Well, I sent out an email with links, and if you don't have that email or can't find it, I did put those links on our library. Do you know how to get to the library page where we have the where we post the calendar
Yes.
and the date of the program? I put it on that page for
Okay.
today. So you
Okay.
can look there. The links are there under what we're going to be discussing today. And the big news was that Ancestry has come out with a new contract that they're applying towards their accounts.
Oh,
Ancestry was bought out by a investment company called Blackwater, I think.
you
Mhm.
mean recently?
Yeah,
Oh, dear. It's
A little
always
while
being
ago,
bought
but-
out by somebody.
Well,
yeah,
several months ago, I think.
Okay, I
Yeah.
missed it.
so let me show you what we're talking about, because I did send it in the email, and I know a number of people have had a chance to look at it. It's a pretty big change, and what I've been doing is watching the legal. I read the Legal Genealogist.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
so if you go down here, I put these two articles. And so this is the one that she wrote, and I would highly recommend, if you get involved with it, to read all of the comments at the bottom, because a
Okay.
lot of people ask questions and she answers them, and she herself is a lawyer.
Uh-huh.
So that, I think that's very useful information. Whoops. And then the other blog post I found, which is, you can read the title right there yourself. The clock is ticking, 28 days. Ancestry can do anything they want with every image in your tree.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I would highly recommend, Gretchen, that you have a look at that.
Oh,
those
yes, I
articles.
will.
And
I have lots of pictures that I say. I will
Laura,
put out
one of
there,
the things
really.
I found that was interesting, and this may be factored into whether you want to keep your tree on there anymore, or even your DNA. I think this
Yeah.
opens up a whole lot of things. Is this gal that's the attorney? She said this was not a issue of privacy law. It was an issue of contract law.
Yeah,
Right.
I
The
read that
difference
too.
is with contract law, you can do, and I wish we had our attorney on here today, but
Yeah,
I
where is
understand
he?
with contract, I worked with contract law throughout my career. Basically, they can make the terms any way they want, and there's really no legal repercussions, like like with some of our privacy rules that are government mandated, these have nothing to do with it.
Mhm.
So we're at the mercy of whatever they want to do.
Well, and I
Is
think
that what
though
you
that,
found, Laura?
That's
But
what
I
I
thought-
find, and it's
Mm.
specifically images that she refers to, but I think it's more than just images.
I think it's
Yeah,
any,
sounds-
I read through it, I interpreted it to be anything that you put on that site, which would be
Yeah.
your DNA, because you gave them permission to do it.
Except she clearly says the rules for DNA are different, but she does indicate that that could change down the road.
Right,
But
and
right
that is
now
part
it's,
of it.
she said this is not, does not apply to their DNA.
But also, did it not say that it was for public trees, not private?
No, it's both.
It
Both.
is both?
It
Okay.
is both.
Do we have feedback there somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere.
I'm not,
Maybe
not
it's just
sure.
Stacy. Who's
I
Stacy?
think it's Stacy
there.
there, yeah.
No, I think it's, yeah, I didn't quite understand the DNA, but she did not say specifically, as I read it, that it wasn't included.
No, she does
She
say
didn't say
that. I
it
read
wasn't
through the whole
excluded.
thing and I pulled out a bunch of
Yeah.
notes. And she does say this is not DNA more than once. But
Okay,
as I say, here's one of her comments. This section doesn't apply to DNA. There are separate and much more restrictive terms of the service with respect to DNA. They are clear that you own the DNA and it won't be shared with service with
I
respect to
read something
DNA.
different in the other one, but she's the attorney, so that's who you have to go.
But then
with.
she does indicate it could change down the road. So,
Maybe that's what that other article that I read was talking about, something down the road.
yeah, so you know, we have to all start being very cautious of this, I
Yeah.
think. And I did not realize that they owned Find a Grave also. Did anyone else
I
know
think,
that?
I think that happened not too long ago. I
Yeah.
mean, I seem to remember there was a transition there, but it's still free to, you know, anybody can go there.
Everything's.
They don't have to be a
consolidated.
member of Ancestry to see it.
But one of the problems is that if you put something up and it happens to be a copyrighted item, such as when you have portraits taken and things, those are automatically copyrighted. If you put up if someone gives you something to put up, you are then responsible and they basically can do what they want with it. And if there's a lawsuit, you're the one who's responsible, is what she indicated in this long article. So that's something to think about. You know, they can basically, they are claiming that they can do anything they want with all of your items,
Laura,
private or public.
did you get the, I don't know, understanding from the article that if, let's say we close our tree out within the 28 days that we have left, that none of that information would then be utilized, or would they still be able to somehow backdoor us?
Well, my understanding, according to what the lawyer says, and you can read this yourself, is that anything you put up from the 3rd on is automatically under these new rules. Anything, but it's not going back until that deadline is up, which I think I read somewhere was September 2nd. So once that date passes, everything that's there can be used by them.
That's what I thought, but I don't know, are they really gonna not utilize what's out there at this point? That's the question I would
Yeah.
have, whether they say so or not.
Well, and I think the thing too is that think of the many people that go to your ancestry tree and download pictures and
Tons of stuff, yes.
tons of stuff from your tree, and then they've spread it all over the place. So if you shut down your account, big deal. I mean, most of your stuff has been downloaded to other people's computers and so
Yeah.
on. That's what I think. It's an insidious situation. There's
That's
no
what-
way you'd be able to pull any of that back except protect yourself for the future, I suppose.
And she mentioned some of that also. She said, I may be wrong, so anything I say, you have to reread all the comments, but
Yeah.
my understanding was that many times people will link something to their site. Like if you see a picture of someone you want to link, if you have an account, you can link it to your tree. And that would disappear if the person deletes it, but if you download it and upload it, it will
Mhm.
still be there.
Oh,
And then, as I said, with the copyright thing, she seemed to indicate that if other people are using copyrighted items, you're responsible. So I don't know. That's what she's saying. She's the lawyer. You'll have to read it over and try to understand, but she really answers a ton of questions.
Yeah, it was a good article.
Yeah.
Tom,
Now,
did you
Mike-
link your tree to the new family tree software?
I did, and then I unlinked it.
Okay, I have never linked it in the first place, but
Yeah,
I've still got a
I-
tree out there.
Yeah, I did, because I was using Family Tree for a while. I just wanted to see how it was working. And I decided I wasn't going to use it. So I guess I still have it. Well, no, I erased that tree. So for what it's worth, I erased that tree. Hopefully it's gone, but I'm going to check into it and see if it
Yeah, I'm
is.
gonna
Well,
probably
you
erase
know-
mine.
Yeah.
Steve, are you on Facebook? Do you go to the Family Tree Users Facebook group?
Just
because-
occasionally, I
Okay,
didn't join
well-
it. I never joined it, but I do occasionally go look at it. So I may have
Right,
to get
because
them.
today they had, and I don't have any online family tree whatsoever, but I read all this stuff anyway. And their family tree maker has some sort of way to privatize your people in your tree that you created on Family Tree Maker, and that it won't go over to Ancestry.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
I
have
don't
that
know.
here.
You
on my
have it?
notes. Yeah.
Oh, good, because I
Yeah,
did
you
not
can.
take notes on it, but
Yeah.
when you mentioned that, it just rang a bell that I,
Oh,
glanced through it today. But I'm glad you have that, Laura.
Well, different people are writing here, so we have to take everything with a grain of salt unless it's the lawyer herself, whose name is Judy Russell. But there's a Liz who writes, use Family Tree Maker, down your Ancestry tree to your desktop, then mark all your media private, and then
Yeah.
sync with Ancestry, and all your media is removed, but the facts and dates stay. And Judy Russell, the lawyer, said repeatedly that she was going to leave her tree there, just take down all of the images and the
Yeah.
extras. She was going to leave the dates and names there. So that
you
might
have
be
that-
the
you
way
have
to
that
go.
document digital, so I'm not quite sure how you do that on Family Tree Maker. I guess I have to look at it. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I just found
Is
this in
that
the
easy to
comments.
privatize your media?
I guess you
Apparently
can
on
do that.
Family Tree Maker.
Which software did everyone want to recommend? I can't remember. There was Roots Magic and then Family Tree Maker, right? And which
Yeah,
did you all think
those are the
was the
two.
best?
I went back to Family Tree Maker, but I haven't looked about, I don't know how to or I shouldn't say I don't know how, I haven't looked into how to privatize my media.
Yeah, apparently it's
gonna-
I
doable.
mean, I got 1,000 or more than 1,000 pieces of media, probably 2,000 pieces of media. If I have to do them one by one, that's a long job.
Yeah. I gotta see if I can screenshot this. I think she said something about it. Family Tree Maker.
I read it earlier today. I haven't gotten back to it to see what the comments all are.
And they keep adding comments.
Yeah. They
Well,
will-
this was an admin, if I recollect. Yeah, yeah, here's the post. At some point, you may decide you don't want your media to be shared on Ancestry. Privatizing media is also helpful, blah, blah. Uploading your tree. They say to go to the guide 3.4. Do you have the guide, Steve? For your Family
no,
Tree Maker?
I might, I'd have to go look and see.
It's
if I have
probably
it.
online, but,
Yes, it is online.
I got most of the guide. What does it say to go to?
okay, here, now it says
I was trying to look at
guide
privacy.
7.1, adding media. And then I don't know, it's a step by step.
I think you can do it one by one. I remember that when I was putting some media into the program.
Yeah, I
Few
just don't
weeks ago.
recall if, I tell you, I don't have the program, so I didn't,
I'll look
really.
into that, and if I find it, I'll send
Okay.
it.
Yeah, go to
Laura
the-
and she can pass
It says,
on. I'll
here's
send
what
it
I
on.
see on page 101 and 102 of the manual it says, entering details for media, collection and so on, you go on. And then you add the caption, the date and the description, the next thing it says, click private checkbox to keep this media item from being exported or uploaded to your online ancestry tree. So yeah, so I guess you can edit it, but it doesn't say it's going to remove it if it's already there. You've uploaded it. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
Well, I haven't uploaded my tree through the new family tree maker, so I suspect, but it sounds like you got to do it one by one, and I'm hoping they have
Sounds
a
like it,
batch.
yeah.
I hope they have a
Yeah.
batch mode. I'll see if I can find that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
well, the other
Yeah.
thing I'm worried about, I've got a lot of, I've got some of my grandkids' pictures out there now. They're getting to be old enough. It's not probably as big a deal, but there's a lot of metadata on some of your photos these days.
Yeah,
It gives you a whole lot of information as to location and
Right,
time
right.
and all sorts of stuff
Yep,
that
yep,
you don't want out there. So,
yep.
well, I figured out on Ancestry itself how to see specifically what your photos, where your photos are. Do you want me to show you what I found?
Sure,
Has anyone done
Sure.
that?
sure.
And this is a tree that I made when I was researching the local history here, the Tulis Brandeis family. So here's the tree. I just do this to research different history subjects. So when you go in there, if you click the name of the tree overview, it then gives you these things on the side.
okay.
So in this case, I've uploaded a lot,
Yeah.
mainly articles and things. So
87 pictures.
yeah, and this is just a little tree that I made on this family. So that's how you get to it, through that, manage the tree thing. I think you can do it in different ways, but that's how I found to get there pretty easily. And you can see, I think there's stories, and then primarily it's the photos you want to be worried about, I would say, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't show you how to get rid of them, does it? Or to
Well, they
blank
don't
them
want
out?
you to get rid of them.
No, I know they don't.
Yeah, Ancestry doesn't want you to cancel the tree or anything.
They're gonna be selling
Well,
this thing
they're out of
around the
luck,
world.
aren't they?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think it's either tomorrow, the 7th or the 9th, is when my next payment is for Ancestry. So if I'm gonna cancel it, I gotta make a decision here pretty quick.
Yeah, when
And
I
I'm not
click
gonna
on the
pay another
photos,
$200.
Well, you can
Yeah, it
always
looks like-
re-up, I guess, if you decide down the road, but.
Well, yeah, but you lose your $200. They don't give you a refund.
Oh, no. I mean, if you cancel it now, they can always re-up down the road, but.
Well, that's
once you
true.
pay,
Yes.
you pay, yeah.
But supposedly if you cancel it, they erase your tree, and if you-
no, they don't.
No, my tree's still out there. I don't have a subscription.
This is a free
Alright.
site that I have that I just showed you. That's just a free site. I'm putting things up on. And you did had to, from what I see, you can't batch delete them. You have to go through one by one and delete them.
Well, now that's interesting, because I'm looking at another posting on that Family Tree Maker users group on Facebook.
Yeah,
And it says to go to the media workspace and then select the items you want to privatize. If you want to select all media, if you have a Mac, you do it one way. On Windows, you click on a media item in the main panel and then hit Control A. And then right click and choose Mark Private. So
Oh, really?
maybe you
Okay.
can.
it
Okay.
sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like it, yeah.
I don't know how to get this to you though, Steve. It's a Facebook post.
I'll go to the Facebook post. What was the date of the post,
Today, three
Okay.
hours ago. So today, Nancy, NACI Crisp, CRISP. She's an administrator and she's often, told us how to
I've heard the
use
name someplace. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Something I've
What's
done.
the name of it? Family Tree Maker?
Family Tree. Let me make sure I got it right. Family Tree Maker with the copyright R in a circle, users.
Okay.
That's it, ready?
And I do want to point out that the
I-
library has a free version of Ancestry, the library edition
Yeah.
to the end of the year. For anyone
Right.
who wants to
Yeah.
cancel and think about it. It doesn't have all the items in a
Well,
private.
one of the problems I have, I'll have to talk to my niece, but she has a tree for her side of the family, but also incorporates our side, and she's picked up a lot of the stuff I've put on, and I've picked up stuff that she's put on, just because we had different sets of information. So I don't know how those two interact based on some of the conversation here. It sounds like if other people have used it or you've used other people's stuff, it's
Gonna
kind of in
still,
that never land.
yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah, and it's fun having to worry about all this stuff. And like you spend more time on this damn this darn computer stuff, you know?
And this is
It's
a
making me very happy that I don't have a genealogy software at all on my computer. Simply
Well,
my,
I still like it, and I still like the ability to pass it
I
on to
know.
other family members, but we've got to get the privacy
77.
side of it. We don't
I
want
know.
all that stuff. I mean, a lot of the pictures, who cares? You know,
yeah,
somebody died back in 1820, I guess.
Yeah.
It's out there, it's out there. It's probably in the public domain anyways, but I'm more worried about immediate family.
Well, you know, I from day one on Ancestry, on any of them, I've taken the approach, and I hope I've stuck with this, that if the image, whether it be a document or, and maybe this is wrong, a document or a picture, if it's already on the internet, okay, then it's public.
yeah.
Then I don't have to worry about it. So,
I think, yeah.
so the only time I've really put a picture is I put my great grandparents on it, okay? Picture of them, and I've seen where they have come back, the pictures have come back to me as
Yes.
hits on Ancestry. And I put the picture on, and no byline is not my byline, you know,
No.
so I hope I've been more
You could
careful.
watermark those,
I
Tom.
could, yeah, and
Yeah.
I should have. I can see
Yeah.
that.
Hindsight's always 20/20.
Well, I know.
I scanned 250 pictures out of our old albums and boxes of pictures we had for the family. And then I linked them to all the people in the family.
Yeah.
Great.
And like Tom said, I've had some of them come back as hints all the time. Well, we got this great hint for you. Here's a great picture. It's kind of like, yeah, I put it out
Yeah,
there.
right. I put it on there. Yeah,
And those are not public domain pictures. Those were private family pictures. So
Right,
I,
right.
done
That's
the
the one
same.
that
but
yeah.
they're all, for the most part, they're back in the early 1900s. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like,
I
So
just
72 years
figure,
is-
I just figure anything anybody puts anywhere on the internet is now
Public.
public. Yeah,
well, that's true.
yeah. So,
Just ask Mark Zuckerberg.
The
yeah,
problem here,
exactly.
you wish you were dealing with a company with integrity, which I think is the big reason we're all upset with this change.
Yeah, I don't trust the financial, these companies that are buying up assets of different things, because they're in it to sell the pieces or to make,
To
double
harvest.
their money overnight, basically.
Right, yeah, if it's a hedge fund, they've got investors that they have to,
Right. And they're just
You know,
looking to take the best
you know,
parts of it and figure out how they can monetize it.
double digit gain, so.
What company has it right now? I mean, before
I think it's Blackwater.
Blackwater has it now,
BlackRock
and
or
then
Blackwater or BlackRock, I can't remember, but
Yeah.
yeah.
that's the new one or the old one?
That's the
That's the-
current one, and that
Current
was,
one.
that's
Okay,
been about 6 months or more, maybe
well,
even a
just 6
year.
months.
Well,
Yeah.
see, I think Ancestry had some cash flow problems and they wanted to get some cash
Right.
into the company. And when you start going
Right.
out there looking for people to invest, this is what
Huh.
happened.
Would you think that they bought or are now in control of the subsidiaries of Ancestry, like Find a Grave and the
Yes.
stuff?
Sure.
And
Apparently
then
this
newspaper.
applies to all of those
All of them?
subsidiaries.
Yep.
Yeah, no, newspaper.com, yeah.
Jeez. Talk about a monopoly.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah. I thought they
Well,
couldn't do that.
the big one you got against it is Family Search.
Yeah.
But then here, My Heritage,
Yeah,
Well,
my
My
heritage
Heritage is growing too.
The family
Yeah.
search, I don't know how they're gonna deal with this.
Yeah,
They're
'cause
gonna
they
get
are
a lot of
connected.
new members.
The only good thing about Family Search situation is they have lawyers.
Well, they
Yeah.
also have a world tree.
They
Yeah, I
do.
know.
Put
Yeah.
on
So,
that tree is gone forever.
Yeah,
yeah, oh, yeah.
They've already done it.
Yeah, you put something on there, they tell you that it's
And I
gonna,
haven't been on their tree.
Be
So I
public.
don't put anything out there, but
yeah, it's gonna be public.
So
things from it.
I guess I missed that. I know that Family Search is a general, a one world tree. Anybody can edit, put on, whatever. how will this business with Ancestry affect that, do you think? Is that, I guess I'm missing what you're saying.
Well, they do work together in some areas.
Yeah,
Because if you go on the family search, sometimes it'll say more
Yes.
information is available on Ancestry. You go to
Right.
Ancestry, and they said, send me $200 and I'll let you look at it.
And
yeah,
I heard them before that went into play. I heard a talk at a library conference about that, and they made an arrangement so that Ancestry at that point was giving the Family Search Libraries free version, free access to ancestry.com in that they would have in the libraries, and then the Family Search people were giving them some of the documents support.
Okay.
So who knows where that agreement will stand. And by the way, the group that bought Ancestry is the Blackstone Group. Wikipedia. Yeah, Wikipedia has a article about Ancestry, and it mentions that in August of 2020, the Blackstone Group announced plans to acquire Ancestry for
Well, it was a year ago.
$4.7 billion.
Oh,
It was about
my.
5 billion. yeah.
Wow.
And in
I remember
February
that.
2021, Ancestry announced Deb Liu, a former Facebook executive, became their CEO.
so great. Oh,
Just
great.
remember, at least my opinion is the value of Ancestry and all of this information is one thing, and that's the medical. If they can tie the medical to this and do it right somehow, and with the DNA, that's where they're going to make money. They're not making money, with genealogy per se. I don't think. It's a potential for making money with comparing the medical with the DNA with the genealogy.
Yeah. Well,
If they
see,
can
and
do that,
my complaint about Ancestry was years ago, it seemed anyway, and this is very unscientific, but it seemed that I could find a lot more articles in their search feature. Then I believe that they spent so doggone much money trying to get the DNA kits and the DNA and all that, that they did not keep up with their basic, what they started with their basic search features. And I think that that's gotten very slipshod. And maybe that's where they ran into financial problems, possibly. They couldn't make it work together, but they did not seem to spend, Ancestry did not seem to me to spend time updating and clarifying and making their results that you find in the general search aspect. I don't think they did a good job at it at all. And I think it kind of slid downhill. In Family Search, just picked the ball and ran with it, because I still think they're a much better search function than Ancestry has.
and even in Family Search, it will tell you, it will search Ancestry databases.
Yes, yes.
That's one of the databases. And I noticed I haven't seen any MyHeritage connection, and maybe that's just because of who I'm searching. But
Well,
don't
I've
know.
seen the Ancestry, like I said before, the Ancestry comes up because they, like Tom says, they search all these databases. But anything on Ancestry, many times they say, when you go to that, when you click on the site to go to it, they want $200 for you to see it.
Sure.
So,
Right,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
so it's kind of a worthless search unless you've got a subscription.
Right, right.
They do show a $, meaning you got to pay for it, but
Yeah. I don't know about MyHeritage. You know about MyHeritage, Laura?
That is available through the library, so I don't know. Don't they own it?
who?
I think it's mainly Census. Ancestry owns
that's
not MyHeritage. I'm thinking
That's
Heritage
Heritage
Quest.
Quest.
Yeah,
That's
I'm thinking-
Heritage Quest.
MyHeritage was originally founded by a company in Israel,
Right.
Yeah.
right.
and I think it's expanding. There's some big news about expanding just in the last day or so.
Mm.
Mhm.
And again, they're buying up all these other people.
I said that about Ancestry, but also I have noticed over the years, many years now, that Family Search, a lot of things I used to be able to get are now behind the come find it at the library. So many more items you have to contact one of the libraries to have access to, where I don't think in the past I don't recall that being quite as extensive as it is now.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Oh,
not behind a paywall because they're free, but behind a door that's go to the
That's their-
library to find
That's
it.
that's their contract with the company or the entity
Yeah.
that's providing the information.
I know.
You know,
And I guess, you know, that just throws it all out to the general public who think, well, golly, this internet stuff will never go away. Well, they'll put it on there and they think they're going to have it forever. Well, as we're becoming aware, stuff changes.
Disappears.
Yep. And what's here today may
My,
not be
my
here tomorrow.
heritage is,
So download.
my heritage is no longer available at the library. That
Right.
was the one you dropped when you went back to Ancestry.
Yeah, that's InfoSoup that did that.
Oh,
The InfoSoup 50 library group did that. But here's what was just appeared August 2nd. My heritage to acquire 90% of Philai, Filai, which is a French ancestry
Huh,
site.
I don't know that.
never
And
heard
this
of
came out of Israel, which is the headquarters for My Heritage.
Right.
Yeah.
And it said that they're going to get that, but they also have recently bought up a whole bunch of small companies. So these are all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
My heritage has a lot of Europeans in it. So if you're interested in like your deep continental roots, you're going to find family members from way, way, way back. Because I'm getting all kinds of
Yeah.
contacts about my ancient Swedish relatives. Like, it's very difficult to figure out how they're related.
Oh, Gretchen, I'd like to ask you, and anyone else who knows
Yeah.
that, because often I'll get an email or on Facebook says, oh boy, My Heritage has a free weekend and so on and so forth. Okay, so you go to the website and it tells you must have an account. Well, I don't mind, a free account to get in, but it says, we'll set up a family tree for you.
Uh-huh.
I don't want a family tree there. So I
Right.
always back out. I
Yeah.
just want access to the records.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I have a family tree there. It's not a very big one, but I hardly ever have added anything to it. But you could put in 3 people maybe,
Yeah, I suppose
and
I
then
could,
you
but
still get.
it's the principle, the thing.
Oh, sure,
Gretchen.
I
It
understand.
irritates the heck out of me.
Yeah.
I'm not
You
going to
have to be-
start a family tree on their site.
You also have to be very careful on any time, like Ancestry does this too, that they'll say, or they'll say you get a window is free, okay?
Yeah,
And so if they'll set up a tree and give you an account, and if you don't cancel before that free period is up,
Yeah, you're
you have an
paying.
account and they're gonna charge you.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
will.
You have to give them your credit card information when you start
Right,
out.
Yeah,
they just run
That's
it
true
through
of
the credit
almost
card.
every site.
but
Yeah.
Everybody's
it-
looking for subscriptions because they want the recurring revenue stream. That's what
Sure.
they're all-
Mhm.
that's what
but
they're all
it's just, I don't want them, all I want to do is search their site. I don't want them to set me up a tree, put me in a window, do any of that, kind of stuff. And I don't know.
You might
Not
have
on my mood
to,
at the time, but it irritates me.
I would just Google, do you have to have a tree in My Heritage to use the records?
Yeah,
know,
that's
so-
good. Yeah.
Some sentence like that.
Well, and then the other thing is if they say they're gonna set up a tree for me, so, okay, whatever. I don't do anything to it but meanwhile, I'm looking up people. Are they gonna be putting these people in on a tree that I didn't even, set up or want?
I think you have the right to connect with people.
Yeah, so, but anyway, the games they all play kind of, depending on my mood, they really get my goat some days.
Okay, so if I may ask, I'm slow here. What is the consensus of the group as to what a person should do now that Ancestry has done this? Should you take your tree off of Ancestry and within the 28 days, and not have a tree on Ancestry, or should you continue the tree on Ancestry but take down all the media? I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
I'm
that's,
gonna read it. I'm gonna read about it. I mean, I put up my own family pictures and stuff. So, I mean, they're not, well, no, like some of my grandfather, they may have been portraits. But the studio where it was done was closed long ago. I mean,
right, yeah.
I don't know about, some of that. I don't mind I don't know. It doesn't, I'm not one of these people that's bothered too much by it because sometimes you find, a whole line of your family that you didn't know about, if somebody comes in. But what I don't like is it's really difficult if they goof it up, if they connect to you and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
not related to you at all.
Yeah, and they
Mhm.
changed some.
All
of
you
the
can do
info.
is send them a note saying this, you are not related here and explain why. But
I
then
think what I'm, no,
Then I just don't necessarily go back and check that they did,
yeah, that's the tough part. I think I might take my tree down because I never did link it to the new family tree maker that I'm using now. And I want to see what the DNA policies are going to emerge as, because I think that's the critical mass of where the risk is. And then I may privatize my current living family, because I don't want all that mega data out there when I do decide to put it back out. So
Yeah, they
I
don't
think
show
I agree
living
with, I think I
people.
agree with Gretchen, is that older photos, whether they're from your own personal or not, maybe you help other people, they'll help you.
Yeah. I like that help each other with
Yeah.
it. And
That's
people
what
have,
that's what this is all
I
about.
found very interesting things there
Oh, yeah.
that relate to my own relatives. So,
But you mentioned Steve Living. Supposedly, none of those sites
the-
allow living people,
right.
Some of them do.
Supposedly.
supposedly. Well, yeah.
But usually
don't-
you can't see, I don't know if I've ever seen, it's usually blacked out for living people, you really
Usually,
can't.
yeah. But whether that's going to be under their policy now, I don't know.
Yeah, it should be.
Should be,
Because there are
but-
privacy laws. I mean, we can't get the census for, what is it, 72 years?
Yeah.
Right.
The census records. And so now next year, we're going to be getting 1950, which I'm excited about.
That's gonna be a biggie,
I know.
especially for us people.
Right.
But
I'm finally gonna make it.
me
Yeah,
too. Me too.
me
But
too.
supposedly it's not going to be very useful because they didn't ask a whole bunch of questions that would be useful to us genealogists.
They might not have, I have no idea, but.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
All but two of my younger siblings will be in this one.
Yeah.
Everybody but them.
Yeah, I finally make it this year.
My siblings won't, but I will. No, I think, like I said, I think I'll take it down until I find out what the DNA is gonna be, because that one, maybe a positive, maybe a negative, I don't know.
So what you're saying is you're going to erase it off of your
Right.
tree, off of Ancestry. Save
And
it
I can
first.
always
on-
I can always relink it later,
Yeah, save it on whatchamacallit,
my family tree maker.
Family Tree Maker, and then upload it at a future date if you wanted to.
I think that gives me time to see how this shakes out over the next few months.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably a good idea. I'll probably do that too, because then I see where I have to pay the $200 tomorrow, so.
I already did that in January, so,
Yeah, well, I
Whatever.
pay twice a year.
oh, okay, yeah.
So this is my second payment for this year.
And,
so.
that's another question. I only have the world ancestry. I don't have the military part or the newspaper part or what, those extra things that they
Yeah.
added a few years ago. Do you
Mhm.
subscribe to everything,
All
Tom?
three? Yes,
Do you find them
I-
useful?
I haven't so much on Fold 3, but I have on newspapers and I have on family or on
Yeah.
Find a Grave.
Oh,
What I
really?
did,
Find a grave you can get anyway.
Gretchen,
Yeah.
this time,
Yeah.
I used to do the all access, but
Yeah.
this time around I did World Explorer, and I have a newspapers account on separately because I
Okay.
wanted the publisher's edition and the extra on it. So I
Right,
did
right.
them separately, and I got them both on deals. One was for 6 months, $75, and the other was $75, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's not bad.
But the military, I like the idea of it, but man, that's a goofy website and I can't find.
They
I
don't have a
have
lot.
not been, no, I don't like it at
No,
all. It's not user friendly and it's, I haven't really found much.
I
So,
think you'd be better off just trying to figure out how to use the catalog feature on,
family search.
well,
Or-
Family Search or on the National Archive site.
Oh,
Yeah,
National
They
Archives.
have
And
a,
I
they
do
have a-
have trouble with the National Archives site because,
it's a
Yeah,
hard
that's not-
site.
oh, okay, it's not just me then, because I'm
No,
trying.
it's a
and
hard
I'm-
site to figure out.
You
Yeah.
gotta take your time when you go through that, but you will find everything you want. You can get images of what you want.
Yeah, I figured
It's a
I'd be
hard
able to
site.
if I could only figure out how to use it.
Yeah.
well, the newspapers, do any of you know if they, do they have Madison newspapers, for example? Do you know on the Ancestry Extra newspaper site?
I think they
Uh,
have some, their library actually has newspapers.com library edition,
Right.
but it's not the same as the subscription edition. And I think when I looked in there, they don't have the Green Bay Press Gazette, but they do have some Madison papers.
Now I
Okay.
get the Press Gazette.
Yeah,
With
that's in the subscription one.
newspapers.
But I
Yeah.
think the library edition does have some Madison papers.
Yeah, I have to
So-
look again.
They probably
Yeah.
have the Capital Times in the Journal.
I
Wisconsin.
hope so.
Comes through, you can look it up on our library website, or even Badger Link is where it comes from. The state
Okay.
pays for that.
Yeah, I've looked at it before, but not recently. I subscribe to Genealogy Bank because it has all of Rockford, Illinois, and that's my main,
Yeah.
one of my main
Yeah.
places. And it also has Duluth, Minnesota, and that's another one of my main places. So it just depends upon, which of the systems carry
Yeah,
the newspapers
your
you're
paper.
interested in.
I had the American Ancestors and it just expired a couple of weeks ago. I didn't re-up it because just didn't find a lot of information. There's
Yeah,
a
I
lot out
found
there, but
quite
it
a
didn't-
bit there, but it is, I've joined for years, so. Because all of Dan's, 3 lines of Dan's families go back to the 1600s in Massachusetts, so,
Yeah, I picked up a few things there, but not
right,
a lot. And I haven't found anything recently. Every time I did searches, it came up with nothing.
okay,
So not saying I
Right.
won't give it another try down the road, but
right.
Okay,
Well, anyone have anything more to say? We're coming up on an hour. We've had quite a discussion here. I think it's been very, very helpful.
Yep,
just
thank you
just
for
a
doing
I'm
that.
gonna go
quick-
read the ancestry thing now.
Just a
Yeah.
quick thing you
Don't
want,
go
you
wrong.
want to be aware of. Windows 11 is coming out
Yeah.
Oh,
and Windows 11 or Windows 10 will still be supported until, what is it, 2025 or
2025, yeah.
2025. But not all your computers will be able to use Windows 11. And they have a fairly extensive, 10 step or 10 things you should check to see whether or not your computer can use Windows.
boy, mine better. I just got a new computer.
Yeah, you probably do. Mine went through all 10 of them, except I ran into a problem on my C drive of having enough free space. So that means I've got to remove some
Yeah.
stuff off the C drive and put it on a different drive. So I
Well,
get some free space.
There is a
I
guy, there
I
is a guy at
passed mine,
EDRC.
Tom.
There is a guy at EDRC that hosts a Windows class, Windows
Yeah,
10
that's
class.
where we,
Dan,
yeah,
Dan
that's
Hu-
where we
Dan
got
Hugan.
these. That's where we
And,
got these,
so-
Steve.
Yeah, if anybody needs it, go to one of his classes. I think he's on the first Wednesday of the month, if I'm not mistaken.
right.
Yeah.
Dan's a good guy. I've met him and
Yeah,
he
he's
does a
nice
little
guy.
on Apple, but he's really a Windows guy. So
Yeah, hi.
And my son, who's an IT guy with a big medical group in Texas, says, hold off.
Yeah,
probably smart.
Yeah,
well, I won't be first in line, I'll tell you that.
No, I won't either.
I wait
I won't
until they
either.
get the kinks worked out.
yeah,
The
exactly.
only thing I'm gonna be careful of is to make sure I don't hold off too long to where I gotta pay for it.
Oh, right.
I gotta go.
But you know, you still
bye-bye.
don't, you
Bye,
still don't
Gretchen.
have to pay.
Bye,
for it.
Gretchen.
Bye,
Oh,
Gretchen.
I'll leave. Okay.
Okay, so Laura, we're not
Hello?
gonna meet again until the first
Yeah,
week in
yeah.
September, right?
Yes, and do we want to go back to twice a month or just keep it at once? I kind of like the once a
Do we
month.
want to meet in person?
That The trouble
Yeah.
is then people have to travel quite a distance. We also do hybrid meetings now with the book groups.
Oh, well. Oh, I only think about a hybrid meeting. I mean, I don't have far to go. Steve, you don't have far to
I
go,
don't have
but
far
Yeah.
to go.
Me
Yeah,
No.
neither.
yeah, so,
if you want to
Gretchen
see
has-
what the hybrid meetings look like, go to DoorCountyLibrary.org. Look at the very bottom on the right is a link to the YouTube channel. And Bailey's
Okay.
Harbor did one, we did one the other day that's just up now on the book Midnight Library. You can see the setup where I have people sitting at a table, kind of spread out, and the camera is looking straight down the table. And then there's a TV with Zoom on it. So the view of the people at the table is the main view, and then once in a while, people will speak up from
Okay.
Zoom.
Well,
Do
So
you
it
think
worked
we'll
pretty
ever
well.
get back to having in-person meetings at Sister Bay? Or you think that's off the table now?
I don't know what their plans are up there. Everybody's a little different. Egg Harbor's having a lot of in-person things because they have such a big space.
Dan and Myrma still active? Have you seen them, Tom?
no, I haven't heard anything from them. How about
heard
you,
or seen
Dave?
hide nor hair of them.
I
That-
talked to Don, it's got to be 6 months ago, and everybody was doing fine, but they had no interest in doing the Zoom meetings, and,
Yeah,
they were just riding it out.
Okay.
yeah. I don't know
All
about
right, so
anybody else.
next month, we're just gonna do the 2nd, not the 16th, is that right?
I think that unless you really feel we should try to do two again, I did schedule something later in the year on a Thursday, the third Thursday, I think.
I'm fine with for next month, just the 2nd.
Yeah,
Sure.
the
Okay.
September 2nd, yeah.
September
And should
2nd.
we-
Yeah.
Do you want to try the hybrid? Or stick with just Zoom next month and wait and see?
But I mean, I got 5 minutes away, so
Yeah.
I can go
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah, me too. I'm
Me
I'm
too.
no
I'm
biggie.
just 5 minutes away, so,
Well, maybe we try the Zoom and then decide where we want to go from there.
yeah, yeah.
There's a whole lot of things that are going to change in the next month. I got a feeling.
I have a
Yeah.
feeling too. Afraid, see, they went up again
Yeah.
today, so we'll have to see. We may be right back to the masks again. Yeah. I
Yeah.
hope we're not
Mhm.
shut down.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Wash your mouth
I
out,
suspect that
John.
won't happen, but they may put some other protocols, so who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Okay.
right.
Well, I've got to go, folks.
Yep.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye all.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Does
Bye.
any- Okay, see you in September.
Yeah, September 2nd.
Thanks, Laura.
Bye.